The studio lights dim slightly as the familiar theme music of The View plays, and the audience erupts in applause while the co-hosts take their seats at the round table, smiling brightly for the cameras that pan across their faces. Whoopi Goldberg, ever the moderator, kicks things off with her signature wit, welcoming viewers to another episode filled with hot topics and celebrity guests, and today is no exception as she announces the appearance of the legendary actor Nicolas Cage, known for his intense roles in films like National Treasure and Face Off, but also for his eccentric personality that often makes headlines. The other hosts, including Sunny Hostin, Sarah Haynes, Anna Navarro, and of course Joy Behar, nod along enthusiastically, with Joy already smirking as if she has something up her sleeve, her red glasses perched on her nose reflecting the stage lights. Nicolas Cage strides onto the set with that trademark swagger, his hair slightly disheveled in a way that screams artistic genius, wearing a leather jacket over a graphic tee that features some obscure band logo, and he waves to the cheering crowd before hugging each host in turn, lingering a bit longer with Whoopi, who shares a laugh with him about their past collaborations. As he settles into the guest chair, the conversation begins innocently enough, diving into his latest project, a thriller where he plays a tormented detective chasing a serial killer through the shadows of a rainy city, and he animatedly describes the method acting he employed, staying up for days to capture the character's insomnia, which draws oohs and ahs from the audience. Joy leans forward, her voice cutting through the chatter with that sharp New York edge, asking him about his collection of rare artifacts, like the dinosaur skull he once owned, and Nicholas chuckles, launching into a passionate monologue about how history fuels his creativity, comparing it to the treasures in his movies. But there's a subtle tension building as Joy probes deeper, questioning if his eccentricities are genuine or just for show, her tone laced with skepticism that makes Nicholas shift in his seat slightly, though he keeps his cool for now, responding with anecdotes from his life that blend humor and introspection. The discussion shifts to current events, with Sunny bringing up politics, and Nicholas weighs in thoughtfully, expressing his views on environmental issues and the importance of protecting endangered species, which aligns with his past philanthropy. But Joy interjects with a pointed remark about celebrity activism, suggesting it's often performative, and Nicholas counters politely at first, defending his sincerity with examples from his work with animal rights groups. Yet the audience can sense the undercurrent of disagreement simmering beneath the surface as the segment progresses, the cameras capturing every nuanced expression on their faces. As the show continues, the hosts delve into more personal territory, with Sarah asking Nicholas about his family life and how he balances Hollywood demands with being a father, and he opens up warmly, sharing stories of taking his kids to comic conventions and instilling in them a love for storytelling, which endears him further to the live audience who applauds his heartfelt responses. Anna chimes in with her own experiences, creating a momentary bond, but Joy, never one to shy away from controversy, steers the conversation toward Nicholas's past relationships and high-profile marriages, questioning if his impulsive nature and love mirrors the chaotic characters he portrays on screen, her words dripping with a mix of curiosity and judgment that makes the atmosphere thicken noticeably. Nicholas pauses, his eyes narrowing just a fraction, as he explains that life is about taking risks, much like his career choices, from indie films to blockbusters, and he recounts the thrill of eloping in Vegas, turning what could be a tabloid jab into a romantic tale. But Joy presses on, citing specific instances from his biography that she's clearly researched, like his short-lived marriage to Patricia Arquette, and suggests that such patterns might indicate a fear of commitment. Her comedic timing landing laughs from the crowd but also eliciting a visible stiffening in Nicholas's posture. Whoopi tries to lighten the mood by joking about her own divorces, drawing parallels that diffuse some tension, yet Nicholas's responses grow more animated, his hands gesturing emphatically as he defends the passion that drives his decisions, both personal and professional, emphasizing that regret is for those who don't live fully. The topic evolves into broader cultural commentary, with Joy criticizing the film industry's portrayal of women, using examples from Nicholas's movies where female characters are often damsels or foils, and he retorts by highlighting his collaborations with strong directors and actresses, like in Adaptation with Meryl Streep, arguing that art reflects society's complexities. But Joy counters sharply, accusing him of dodging the issue, her voice rising slightly as she lists statistics on gender inequality in Hollywood, which prompts Nicolas to lean forward, his voice intensifying as he shares his support for movements like Me Too, revealing behind-the-scenes efforts he's made to advocate for change. The exchange heats up gradually, with the audience murmuring in anticipation, and the other hosts exchanging glances, sensing that this interview is veering off the scripted path into uncharted territory where egos and opinions collide. Midway through the segment, the discussion takes a turn toward Nicolas's infamous on-set stories, with Sonny recalling tales of his intense preparation methods, like eating a live cockroach for a vampire's kiss, and he laughs it off, explaining it as dedication to authenticity. But Joy seizes the moment to question if such extremes are necessary or just attention-seeking behavior, her eyebrow arched in that signature skeptical way that she's honed over years on the show. Nicolas, starting to show signs of frustration, elaborates on the psychological depth it adds to his performances, drawing from method acting pioneers like Marlon Brando, yet Joy interrupts with a quip about how it might border on the ridiculous, citing critics who call his style over the top, and the audience chuckles nervously as Nicolas's face flushes, his responses becoming more fervent, insisting that true art requires pushing boundaries, and he challenges Joy to name a performance of his she dislikes, which she does without hesitation, bringing up Ghost Rider and mocking its supernatural elements as cartoonish. The back and forth escalates, with Whoopi attempting to mediate by redirecting to his acclaimed work in Leaving Las Vegas, for which he won an Oscar, but Joy doubles down, suggesting that even his best roles carry a manic energy that's exhausting to watch, her words striking a nerve as Nicolas raises his voice for the first time, defending his versatility from drama to action, and accusing Joy of oversimplifying his craft based on tabloid perceptions rather than actual viewings. The studio falls into a hushed tension, cameras zooming in on their faces, capturing the sparks flying as Nicolas recounts the personal sacrifices he's made for his roles, like losing weight drastically or learning new skills, and Joy retorts that celebrities often romanticize their hardships while ignoring real-world struggles, her liberal viewpoints clashing head-on with what she perceives as his eccentric privilege. Anna tries to interject with a balanced perspective, but the momentum is with Joy and Nicolas now, their debate turning into a rapid-fire exchange where he questions her expertise on acting, given her background in comedy and talk shows, and she fires back about his understanding of everyday issues, the audience gasping at the pointed barbs that reveal deeper ideological divides. The clash reaches a boiling point when Joy pivots to Nicolas's political endorsements, referencing his past support for certain candidates that align with more conservative leanings, contrasting sharply with her own progressive stance, and she challenges him on his views regarding gun control, using a recent news event as fodder, her tone accusatory as she implies hypocrisy in a gun-toting action star advocating for peace. Nicolas, now visibly agitated, his fists clenched on the table, erupts in defense, his voice booming across the set as he passionately argues that art and personal beliefs are separate, citing his films that critique violence like in Kick-Ass, but Joy cuts him off, labeling it as convenient compartmentalization, and the argument spirals as he stands up abruptly, pacing a few steps while gesturing wildly, declaring that she's twisting his words for ratings, his famous intensity on full display like in one of his rage-filled movie scenes. The audience is on the edge of their seats, some cheering, others shocked, as Whoopi calls for a commercial break, but Nicolas continues, ranting about media bias and how shows like this sensationalize celebrities instead of fostering real dialogue, his face red and veins bulging, while Joy remains seated, smirking defiantly and retorting that if he can't handle tough questions, maybe he shouldn't come on talk shows. Sarah and Sonny exchange worried looks, trying to calm things down with placating comments, but the energy is electric, with Nicolas pointing a finger accusingly at Joy, accusing her of personal attacks rather than constructive criticism, and she laughs it off, saying it's just her style, which only fuels his outburst further as he recounts instances where media has misrepresented him, From his financial troubles to his family life, his monologue turning into a tirade that echoes his character's breakdowns in films like The Weather Man. In the midst of the eruption, security personnel hover at the edges of the set, ready to intervene if needed, but Whoopi manages to regain some control, urging both to sit and breathe, though Nicolas remains standing, his chest heaving as he unleashes a stream of consciousness about the pressures of fame, how it's eroded his privacy and turned him into a caricature for pundits like Joy to poke at, his words tumbling out in a mix of anger and vulnerability that humanizes him beyond the Hollywood persona. Joy, undeterred, responds with equal fervor, standing up now to match his energy, defending her right to ask hard-hitting questions as a journalist and comedian, pointing out that public figures invite scrutiny by putting themselves in the spotlight, and the clash becomes a spectacle of clashing worlds of the unpredictable artist versus the no-nonsense commentator, with the audience divided, some booing Joy, others applauding her boldness, and attempts to bridge the gap by sharing her own experiences with heated debates, but it's lost in the noise as Nicolas accuses the show of ambushing him, claiming he was invited to promote his film, not defend his life choices, his voice cracking slightly with emotion that hints at deeper frustrations perhaps from recent personal setbacks. Joy fires back that if he erupts this easily, maybe therapy would help more than another blockbuster, her sarcasm cutting deep and prompting Nicolas to laugh maniacally, a sound straight from his villain roles, before he composes himself enough to retort that her cynicism is what's wrong with daytime TV, turning viewers into cynics rather than inspirers. The other hosts finally manage to insert themselves more forcefully, with Sunny suggesting they agree to disagree, and Sarah complimenting Nicolas's passion as what makes him a great actor, but the damage is done, the segment forever marked by this unscripted meltdown that's sure to go viral. As the show cuts to commercial, the tension lingers in the air, but upon return, a semblance of calm is restored with Nicolas reseated, though his eyes still flash with residual fire, and Joy adjusts her glasses, her smile triumphant yet strained, as Whoopi wraps up the interview by thanking him for his candor, steering toward lighter fare like his upcoming projects and favorite co-stars, which he discusses more subdued now, the eruption having seemingly catharted some pent-up energy. The audience claps politely, sensing the awkwardness, and as Nicolas exits the stage with a wave, the hosts debrief among themselves, Joy quipping that it was the most exciting episode in years, drawing laughs that break the ice, while off-camera whispers suggest producers are thrilled with the buzz this will generate. In the aftermath, social media explodes with clips of the clash, fans debating who was right, some praising Nicolas for standing his ground, others siding with Joy's tough love approach, turning the incident into a cultural moment that boosts ratings for The View and reminds everyone of Nicolas Cage's unpredictable charm. Reflecting on the event, it becomes clear that such eruptions, while chaotic, highlight the raw humanity behind celebrity facades, sparking conversations about boundaries in interviews and the clash of personalities in public discourse, ensuring this episode lives on in talk show infamy.